Hello, Nomads, and welcome to episode 19 of the Nomads of Fantasy podcast. My name is Brandon. I am the host of the show, and I'm also here with Eric.
Hey, y'all.
And Dave.
I'm back. Hey, now.
Dave is back. We missed Dave. Yeah, he wasn't here last week when we talked about Jurassic Park.
Wasn't the same without you.
Yeah. Well, welcome back, Dave.
I'm jealous you guys got the Jurassic Park in. That is a classic, and that is a great movie.
Well, the good news is that there's plenty of Jurassic Park to talk about, and maybe we'll talk about Jurassic Park 2, or we'll look at the franchise. Yeah. But yeah, so we talked about Jurassic Park last week. Dave was out. I'm trying to think of some housekeeping. I don't think there is any really yet because nobody really writes in. And I was thinking maybe before we get into this episode, Eric, if you wouldn't mind maybe reminding people how they can get a hold of us. How can they suggest an idea if they want to make a comment or anything, any way they want to get engaged with the engagement with the show? How can they get a hold of us?
Sure. First and foremost, you can email us at nomadsoffantasy@gmail.com with any questions, comments, reviews, stuff like that. You can follow us on Twitter at Nomads of Fantasy, also on Instagram at Nomads of Fantasy. I'm trying to get more active on there, a little bit more engagement, put up some polls, stuff like that, ask questions about what you guys want to see for future episodes and stuff like that. You can also follow us twitch.tv/Nomads of Fantasy. I think we're planning on revisiting Resident Evil 7 soon.
Yes, we are.
So,
oh man, I gotta get mentally ready for that.
Dave and either one or both of us, Dave and I, are gonna stream a little bit of our Resident Evil 7 playthrough. So that should be a fun time if you want to take a look over there.
Watch me squeal.
So yeah,
can't wait for that.
Watch you hesitate to move ever. Just I don't want to go around that corner. I don't want to go in that door. I'm not going down that ladder. I don't want to go over there.
We're just staring at weird, gross piles of maggots on tables and gross shit. I like looking at the artwork in there.
That'll be fun. I had a couple little. I wanted to get these out in the beginning too. I put a call out last week for just asking about some of your favorite Jurassic Park memories. So I got a couple little late replies there that I just wanted to share that I thought were cool.
Yeah, dude. Let's hear them.
So on Facebook, I got a reply from Mike Alberton, and he says, dressing up as Alan Grant for a convention. He went to order lunch at a local club, and the lady said, "Nice hat," sarcastically. And he's still upset.
Oh my god! Oh man, that's so cool that he did that, dude.
And there's a very nice picture of a cosplaying Alan Grant there. See if you can see that.
It is classy.
Yeah,
I like the hat.
There's another one I posted in one of my Discord groups. This is from Jestful Mongoose, and he says, "I was going to send a DM about Jurassic Park 2, but saw your post too late. I remember loving dinosaurs so much as a kid that I begged my parents to take me to the first Jurassic Park at the age of 4. My mom was my mom was worried I would find it too scary, which was fair since I was scared of everything as a kid. I remember the scene where the T-Rex eats the lawyer off the toilet, and as a kid saying loudly in the theater, much to the chagrin of my dad, "Well, he's done. Who's next?" Needless to say, I loved it as a kid. Too bad the movies got worse after the first one. Great first 2 books though. So that was
It's tough to recapture that magic of that first one. That first one was so good.
Oh yeah, definitely. So thank you guys for writing in with those memories. More of that.
Please chime in with more. Yeah,
more of that type of stuff would be awesome. Like I said, I'll put some more posts up on Twitter asking for that kind of stuff, and we would love to share it on the show.
Always looking for ideas for topics or movies or stuff that we should read and all that kind of stuff. I love traversing, being a nomad of said fantasy.
Yeah.
See? You got to put the title in there too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. So yeah. So that I hope people do engage and all that stuff, and that would be very exciting. I do get some feedback from people, and I appreciate everybody that's listening to the show. So with that said, let's catch up real quick before we get into the topic. I don't even think we talked about it yet, but it is... all right, listen. I like video games. I like movies, right? You would think
you do? No
yeah,
way.
you would think video games plus movies equals awesome, right? But it's not the case. So this episode, we're going to have a conversation about why, I'm like Christopher Walken, why do they suck? But seriously, like,
that's a pretty good walking. I like it.
Thank you. Why do they suck though? Like, what is it about that? Like 9 out of 10, 99 out of 100 times, they're not going to be good at all. It's really hard. I did some research into this, looking at numbers and all that, and we'll get into that later. But oh my God, it's so bad. So we're going to be talking about that. But before we do, let's catch up on what we've been up to. Dave has been out. So I know he had some family vacation stuff going on and all that, but you're back.
Yeah.
What have you, I don't know.
Sneak in any games?
Yeah, what have you been up
to? Yeah, a little bit of everything actually. So No Man's Sky dropped their new update, so I kind of poked my nose in there. They dropped a settlement update, but I haven't found any settlements yet. But it's kind of cool because there's like little quality of life stuff. They fixed all the building menus up. They did a lot of UI stuff. I don't know, stuff just always looks prettier every time I'm in there. They added like nebulas and all sorts of cool draw distance tweaks and stuff like that.
That's the kind of stuff I want from that game. Like adding like settlements and stuff like that, like cities and stuff, like with more NPCs, because usually you'll just go to a planet and you'll find like an outpost with 1 or 2 NPCs in it, and it's just kind of lame.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not very populated. It just feels barren. But yeah, I really want to go back and check out that update for sure.
Most planets have those tiny little shitty little outposts too, which is weird that there aren't cities in it. So it makes a lot more sense. But the game is just so huge that it's daunting even trying to put time into it because it's just so much to do. But
Dave, I snuck in like 30 minutes actually the other night. I'm like, I don't know what to play right now, and I just ignore me. I thought you were talking about Fallout 76.
Well, that was what I was going to talk about next.
Yeah,
that's you talking about your Fallout experience.
Nothing. I just walked around and looked at people's stuff, and I just kind of walked down a road back and forth, and I killed some monsters. I thought that's what you were talking about. I'm sorry, I missed that, but
no, that's a pretty game too. Though,
similar,
because that one has nice varied environments, and it's not just a barren wasteland like a lot of the older ones. They just added Fallout worlds to that, so now you can have your own like custom Fallout instance where you can be like, now everybody's got infinite ammo and spawn rates are up super high, or you can build anywhere you want, or there's just a ton of you gotta have Fallout First subscription.
Yeah, I like those updates. Like, I'm attracted to it. Like, I know you post them, you share them and stuff like that, and I do appreciate it because it's like, man, like Fallout's is a franchise that I've always wanted to like because I adore the Elder Scrolls, and I always have a hard time with the post-apocalyptic, but like you said, like when it came out, that this is more a living world. It's like it's green. It's not so barren and stuff like that. I do appreciate all these upgrades that they've been adding in events. I don't know.
Yeah,
we need to time this too, where like the 3 of us play it.
Yeah, it's true. They add update weapons, and they add and remove weapons and stuff here and there, but in general I'm in the end game really, so there's not like a ton for me to do, but it's still fun to walk around those environments, and I respec your characters, and they've a lot of quality of life stuff since it's launched. So I think it's been 2 years now.
How cool would Fallout do as like a movie, not a movie, maybe like a TV show? I was just thinking about that just because of the topic.
It's already in the works.
Oh, is it
already
really?
in the works? It is, yeah.
Oh,
yep.
Okay.
Where's that at?
There's a Amazon Prime show being created by the showrunners of Westworld.
That's awesome.
That's
I can. Yeah, it is perfect. All right, sorry, Dave, to interrupt, but yeah.
No, that's good. I have that. I have that in my list to talk about later. So,
okay.
Game Pass added Surgeon Simulator 2.
Oh my God, I downloaded everything that they've added except that.
A little bit.
How is it?
Well, I'm here to say probably don't want to spend too much time with that one. It's one of those games where it feels like the controls are fighting against you. Where like you have a button to like rotate your hand, and you have a button to extend your hand, and it's just like it's clunky with the controller. I don't know if it would be better on PC with the keyboard.
I think that was kind of the point of that game, where it's supposed to be dumb and like hard to control.
It is
like
pretty
it's a
dumb.
It's a good like game to stream on Twitch. You know, it's just something dumb.
I can see that.
Yeah. Okay.
It was tough though for me because I don't know. I was just having problems sawing this one guy's arm off and couldn't figure out what was going on. And you just pull people's arms off and stick new ones on, so it's got like that like cartoony surgeon kind of vibe to it. But that one was a little weird.
Yeah, I mean, I was very close to downloading it, but I didn't download it. So I'm glad that you did, so I know what I missed out on.
Yeah. Although, I mean, I played a little bit of Nuclear Throne. That one was decent. It's a little roguelike where you're kind of pixely running around shooting stuff. Played that one for a little while. I did not get to the Nuclear Throne, so I don't know if I've played enough of it to be fully have an opinion on it quite yet. But
sure,
that one was cool. And then a little bit of Spiritfarer with the kid, but that was pretty much it as far as games. I've been watching some Marvel What Ifs. Those are cool. I'm catching up on those.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those.
Those are like
they are good. Watch those, yeah.
They have them like the whole multiverse thing now going with, the whole Marvel universe. So it's a lot of they have comics that are what if. So like, what if Punisher killed the Spider-Man, or what if this guy got the Infinity Gauntlet instead of Thanos, and so there's a lot of those like one-off stories, and these are all like, I don't know, they're like 40 minutes, I think. But they're all animated, which is really cool. Okay. And it seems like a lot of the voices of the actual characters came in to do the voices on these animations. So
they got most of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Not all. Like,
not all.
Scarlett Johansson wasn't in there, but like,
oh, right.
Nicolas Cage, I think it was Samuel L. Jackson was in there, but we got Tom Hiddleston to play Loki and, all the good stuff. So those are cool. Awesome. Watch the DC Birds of Prey movie, which was
okay. How was that?
Interesting.
I haven't watched any of these movies. I know that the new Suicide Squad has done very well rating wise. I saw it, like, it got a really good rating.
Yeah.
But how was that movie specifically, the one that you just mentioned?
I wanted to catch up on it before I saw Suicide Squad, but that one was all right. It had some good action sequences. It got pretty cheesy in some parts with like the overt girl power kind of ham-fisted kind of way they did it. It
seems like they really want Harley Quinn to be a big movie character. I mean, it feels like it, because this is like 3 movies with the same actress as the same character in like 3 fucking years. So it just feels very forced, but I don't know. I didn't
Margot
like the
Robbie
first Suicide Squad.
Freaking great as Harley Quinn. I think she fits like the character perfectly.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
And
it
they
just
got like a lot of the
kind of like, man, like, have you ever seen somebody like, I'm gonna be this character? Oh, it didn't work out. All right, well, we tried. But like they stick with it with her, even with a shitty movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of tongue-in-cheek jokes to it. It had that kind of like the Zombieland thing where it just like stop, everything would freeze for a second, and she'd do like a monologue for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
But it was a solid. I mean, I'll call it solid, but it's worth a watch. But I wouldn't say that it's a great comic book movie. But then. Lastly, well, there's a little bit of My Hero in there, but I only watched a couple episodes, but that's still trickling in. But been reading the Akira comics still, and they announced something about there's a book called Why the Last Man. It's a graphic novel. It is about post-apocalyptic, where everything on the planet with a Y chromosome just dies all of a sudden.
Oh,
so
shit.
Every male animal, every male human, everything with a Y chromosome just dies all at the same time.
One man.
Well, at one to start. We'll put it there.
Oh, gee, when we haven't heard of that.
One man and his monkey.
Yep.
A man and his monkey. But basically, like, there's weird like Amazon tribes of chicks that like cut off their left breast to show their commitment to the tribe, and they're like Amazonian women that are just out there with bows and arrows, just hunting bitches and roaming in packs. And then there's groups of women that are like reforming society, and because like all these male-dominated professions just kind of just poof disappeared, and now women have to pick up the slack in a lot of spots. But I've got the 5-book series, but I'm sure there are other ones other than that. But Hulu, I think it's FX, is doing a series on it. So there were a couple images that came out about it. So that looks like it could be a good one to watch in the future. But it's a pretty cool series. Yeah, it came out in 2002. Ran for like 6 years. But it's just, a guy and his monkey just trying to save the world. So, but that's about two weeks of stuff for me.
Do you see that Game Pass has that game where it's like the guy has to rebuild a spaceship or something like that, but he has
got
like
a chicken. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw that came out like yesterday or today or something like that. I'm like, oh,
it looks interesting.
Kind of fun and weird. Yeah. All right. Well, that's cool. Well, let's go to Eric, and then I actually have a surprise in what I've checked out.
Oh,
yeah, Eric. Yes, dude. I got a lot to talk about. Yeah. What about you, Eric?
Well, I was talking last week about how I was close to the end of Horizon Zero Dawn, and I finally finished it after all these years of attempting to finish it. Towards the end, I kind of just mainlined it. I liked it overall, but I do have some issues with it, which I don't know. I don't really have to get into, but point is, I crossed it off my list, and I'm glad that I finished it. I like the story. I like the combat. I like the world. But yeah, I'm excited for the sequel, and the sequel, everything they're doing with the sequel looks good and looks like they're improving upon a lot of the things that I had problems with.
Well, she's a great character.
Yeah, I like Aloy a lot.
They did a really good job with those characters. Yeah, you're right. I do like the world. I like the combat. I remember the story. I got to go back to that game. I remember the story.
The story gets really good towards the end. Like, it gets really interesting. I didn't find the world is beautiful, but I didn't really find any reason to explore it. The side quests always didn't really feel that engaging. And the star of the show there was the combat against the machines.
Yeah, dude.
The combat against,
yes, sir.
The combat against like the humans, it was lame. It always felt bad.
You're playing that game on a PS5. I'm playing on a 4, but you're playing on a PS5, right? So it's like
So it's
just gorgeous,
nice and smooth,
4K. Yep, 60 FPS upgraded for the PS5. So that was really nice. That's what kind of got me back into it and kind of pushed me to finish it, because I fell off it a little bit, and then I picked up my save.
Does it get a bit anticlimactic towards the end? Because like I feel like a lot of those open world games, like you're doing so much side shit. And you see so much that like the main story is just like, man, I've already killed like 4,000 dinosaurs. Like,
well, that's kind of what
doing this stuff.
Like I started out kind of doing some side stuff. Like, if I came across a side mission, I would, whatever. You got the exclamation points above people's heads in the world. You can talk to them for a side quest, and I would just do whichever ones I found like interesting. But towards the end, I just kind of abandoned all side quests and just mainline the story just because I wanted to finish it. And I don't know, like you said, I feel like that's kind of the way to go, especially with like a big like existential story like that, because like you're doing like one mission that has huge like world altering consequences, and then you go and help someone find their fucking like lost dog or something. So that's kind of the problem with
Skyrim is like
games.
that. I remember.
Yep.
The first time I played Skyrim, I was just like, I did side quests. Is like, oh my god, honestly, I'll never see the end of this. So I mainlined the story mode the first time I kind of played it, and then a few years later, when they released the anniversary edition, I created a new character, got all these cool mods, and I could give a shit about the main quest because I've already done it.
Oh yeah.
And I just lost myself to all the side quests and the community made quests, and that's a cool way to kind of approach open world games. It's like maybe just mainline it, and then most of those games at the end have like, and then you keep playing if you want, and then you can do a side quest
because they have that, or like with Horizon, they give you the option to do New Game Plus, so you can go into a new game with all of your gear and all of your upgrades and everything. So that would be cool, just to explore the world more and do more of the side quests that I didn't do.
Yeah, because like games like Witcher 3 is known for its side quests better than the main quest kind of thing. So yeah. Yep. But yeah, I'm sorry.
So after I finished that, I wanted something. I mean, the story is pretty heavy. Like, there's a lot of heavy stuff in that game towards the end. So I wanted something lighter.
It's a heavy game.
After I finished that, so I booted up Katamari Damacy. Because I saw they just added that to Game Pass, and that's one I've been wanting to play for a long time, but I never really got around to it. And that game is crazy and weird, but in
fucking weird
the best ways possible. Like it is as Japanese as you can get, but it is really fun. I mean, if you don't know, basically the object of the game is you're basically the son of the king of the cosmos. So you're the prince of the cosmos, essentially. And the king, like, accidentally destroys all of the stars in the sky. So he gives you the job of recreating all the stars. And the way you do that is you have this thing called a Katamari. And you basically roll it around and pick up all these different objects. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it eventually gets big enough where it can become a star. So it's really interesting.
It came out on what, Dreamcast or PlayStation? It's old.
It's old.
Original, yeah.
Yep. It came out in early 2000s. So yeah, it's pretty old. But this is like the remastered quote unquote version.
Right.
So but it's really fun. I was just having a fun time messing around with that.
The intro movie on that is just like batshit crazy with like
it's crazy
singing ducks and all sorts of stuff. My kid fucking went apeshit for that for a week or two.
Yep. So I'll probably continue with that one just as like a side thing, just to mess around with. The other big one I got into was Psychonauts, actually.
The
original,
the first
original,
one.
The original,
because two just came out like a week before this recording or something like that. But yeah. So, how was the first one? Because the second one's amazing. So what's the first one like?
I was gonna say, like, the reason I wanted to play this was because I saw like a bunch of gameplay of 2, and I'm like, wow, this game looks awesome. But I don't really want to jump into the second one. I want to kind of go back and start with the first one, so I don't miss any of the story or whatever. And I mean, this game came out in like 2004 or something, and
towards the end of the original Xbox.
Like
it's got a cult following.
It's really fun. Like for years I've been hearing about Psychonauts. Like, people love this game.
Yep.
And I was like, before I looked up some like screenshots of it, and I'm like, it just looks like a generic 3D platformer. I'm not really interested in it. I don't really, see myself playing it. But I don't know. There's just something about like the humor and the characters and the world, and it's all just clicking with me. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of 3D platformers. Like, I mean, I love Mario games. Those are really the only ones I play. Maybe like Jak and Daxter back in the day. But I'm not like a huge fan of like the Rare games or anything like that. So I don't really have much nostalgia for that. But I don't know. There's just something about this game that's getting me. It might be like, since it did come out in like the early 2000s era, it has a lot of that like humor and like flavor from a lot of the cartoons back in that day, which, I mean, I was a kid in that era, so I have a lot of nostalgia for that type of
it looks like a Nickelodeon like kind of studio made it or something. It has that Tim Burton Nickelodeon look to it.
And there's a lot of voice actors that are from the cartoons that I used to watch as a kid too. So like the main character Raz was the voice of like Invader Zim and like Billy from Billy and Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. All that stuff.
I love Invader Zim. Okay.
So that really got me good. I'm definitely I've played like 5 hours of that game, the first one, and I'm excited to get back to it. I mean,
you'll love the second one.
I know. I can't wait to get to it. And actually, there is a VR game between the first and the second one. Psychonauts and the Rhombus of Ruin. It's for PSVR, and I bought that for like, because it was on sale for like $5. So, and that's actually like it bridges the gap between the first game and the second game. So I'm gonna play that one too. So I'm all in on Psychonauts right now.
Cool.
There's a nice recap in the beginning of 2 where they kind of go through everything that happened in 1 and the Rhombus of Ruin, and they kind of put it all together for you, which is nice. Because I don't really remember much of the first one, so it's.
You played the first one, Dave?
Like a little bit back in the day, but I didn't get too much into it.
Yep. Right. I mean, it's cool. I think the gameplay and the humor and the characters hold up. It's an ugly ass game. I'll just say that. I mean, it was made by a pretty small studio. Double Fine's not a huge studio, especially back then when they first made Psychonauts, but it's good. I like it a lot. I'm excited to play some more of it. What about you, Brandon? Let's hear your surprise. That was it for me.
Sure. Well, it's not a big surprise, but like, I don't know, like 2 years ago, because the three of us used to work together. And 2 years ago, Dave, I remember you saying in the office, you're like, dude, there's a show called Brooklyn 99. You got to watch it. Well, I started watching it. Dude, it's hilarious. God. It's really good.
That show is fucking, classic.
Yeah, dude, it's a funny show. So I don't know. Brooklyn 99, watching on Hulu. It's good. I also watched, I actually been doing a lot. I also watched the new Spider-Man movie, the last one or whatever, Going Home or whenever he's like
Far From Home. Yeah, yep.
Far From Home, sorry. Yeah, because I didn't see the one before that. Yeah, so I saw that. Yeah, it was cool. It was different. It's just like, man, Marvel just knows how to make, I know it's Sony or character and all that stuff. I'm just saying, like, Marvel movies they just know what they're doing. I saw the new one that just came out. What's it called? Shanghai or...
Oh, Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, it got like extremely good reviews, and I'm like all pumped about like learning about new characters and all that stuff. So I'm pumped about seeing that.
It's cool because they take like a character and they make like a genre film like with that character. So like Shang-Chi is supposed to be like an action-y kung fu movie, and I don't know, they all they switch it up enough, but they're all superhero movies, which is cool.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's exactly. So I don't know. I'm excited to see that one. I watched Dredd, not Judge Dredd, but Dredd. I rewatched it. I've seen it before. It was on Hulu. I'm like, I'm gonna watch this again, just for like a little bit, and then I ended up watching like almost all of it, and then the next day I finished it. Really good, man. Carl Urban plays Dredd. He's like a doesn't take shit Batman character trapped in a building going against Cersei from Game of Thrones. And the drug called slow-mo is really cool because when people take this drug, time gets slowed down to 1% of normal time. So one of the things she likes to do, and kind of what starts the movie, is she takes like these thugs in this one big ass building that she's kind of taken over, and she's making this, there's like this drug called, slow-mo. Anyways, if you take it,
that's an original name right there.
Yeah. What she'll do is like, if you piss her off or whatever, she gives you the drug and then pushes you over a ledge, and you just slowly fall. In your time, it's a slow pending death that's going to happen when you just land on the ground. In real time, you do land in like a matter of seconds, but I don't know. It's cool. It's a cool movie. It's just different. For some reason, like, I don't know. It came out of nowhere and had, I think, shitty marketing, and I don't know if people really understand the character. I just heard that it was good. I saw it. I've seen it again. It's a cool movie. If you skipped over it for some reason, I would say just go back and watch Dredd. I don't want to give anything away because it's kind of a fun ride. It's just like a very simple, cool. It's got a cool world. Maybe you guys will watch it and maybe we can talk about it, but I really enjoyed that movie. I also played Psychonauts 2. I've been working on Uncharted. I've played Uncharted 4. I went back and got the collector's edition of the first 3 games. So I'm working through the first one, Drake's Fortune. And I'm playing it on my PS4. It's a lot of fun. There's good things, there's bad things. Overall, it's a great action game. Oh my god, he kills a lot of people. The animations of the way people die is stupid. Like they'll fight you, and then when they die, they like do this massive backflip, or like they exploded off the ground. It's like comical, so it's kind of weird. I just got through this part where like I'm fighting like these like zombie like monster like things because I don't know why. So I'm killing them. I'm near the end. It's cool. I'll tell you what, Uncharted has really good acting. Who was it? Nolan North that does the voice of
I believe so.
Nathan.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, really good. Oh my god. And it came out the same year that like BioShock and Assassin's Creed came out. And I just give it kudos because it kind of came out before those big games, because that year was a big year for games, and I don't know. It's
Naughty Dog, man.
A lot of those ones, like the
Naughty Dog's acting is
the banter, amazing. Like you're going through the level and the banter between like him and Sully as they're like climbing around an environment or just talking to each other, like it seems very natural the way that they're interacting.
Yes, yeah. So the acting is really good. It's spectacular in 4. I was like really impressed with Uncharted 4, and I'm like, man, I really got to play these games. So I'm having fun with it. I'm looking forward to 2 and 3. But yeah, they're also fairly short games, so I feel like I'll be crushing through these games. I'll have to get into it, but they're fun. The only thing is like the controls are really bad in this game when it comes to, well, they're pretty rough. They're dated, but like I can play the original Halo. I can play the old Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter 2 and all that stuff, and Mario Brothers, and they hold up. This game, and maybe because it's in 60 frames now, and it's up-res to 1080, but it's very hard to do some of the platforming in this game, and it really is annoying because it's like basic stuff, and the camera is just I don't know.
They improve it a lot as the game's go on. Like by 4, it's just
I assume
way better.
2007 when it came out. Sure, yeah. So then I checked out Final Fantasy 13. They added that to Game Pass. Looked pretty fun. I played a little bit. It was pretty cool. I liked what I saw. And then
is that like a regular Final Fantasy? That's not the MMO one, right? That's 14. Right?
No, 14, that's 14. Yeah, 13 is 13. It's supposed to be like super
single
long,
player story based.
Yeah, but it's cool.
Okay.
It's fun. It's kind of reminds me of the new direction of Final Fantasy now, where you're not just walking on a map and then all of a sudden the world just like sucks you in and now you're in a battle mode. It's like you're walking in the world, 3D world and all that stuff, and then if you encounter somebody, then it kind of goes into that battle thing. But it's a little bit, I can see where this is the era where they were kind of shifting from the old style to the new style. But I don't know, it's cool. I don't know. I'll play it for as long as I can, and then I get bored of it. And I heard it's really long, so I don't plan on finishing it. But I'll tell you this real quick. The last thing I want to talk about is Zone of Enders. I never played those games. I've always heard that they were really cool. I got the collection, so it's got the 2 games together. There's the first game.
What is it?
They had their names, but anyways, Zone of Enders is like a mech game.
Okay.
Trying to think how. Eric, have you played these games?
No, but
They're from the PlayStation 2 era, I think.
Okay.
They're old, and they remastered them for like the PS3 or something like that. Now they're on Xbox One and all that shit. But anyways, there's 2 games. They up-res them. I get all that, and I enjoyed the little bit of the first one. I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool, but it's not that deep of a game. But it's kind of cool. The second one, even though it's from the same era, man, the quality jump, it's like, I don't know. It's really good. So 2 is actually, if you want, I think you can get it in Game Pass, or it was games with gold. I think it's games
with gold, yeah.
Wow, I saw that.
Yeah, if you downloaded it and you never played it, check out the second one. It's really cool. It really does a good job getting the art style right, so it ages well. The controls are smooth, even from the first one. The controls are really cool, and you really do feel like a mech. Like the way they kind of juggle the controls, it's worth checking out. I can see why there's a cult following behind this game. I don't know if I'm going to get that into it, but I enjoyed the second one, and the second one just has better reviews and more praise for sure. So,
cool.
That's what I've been up to. Man, I felt like I was into a lot of things, but yeah, I'm sure I forgot some things. But and then I'm working on Hades still. I am working on a run, and I saved it today. I think tonight or tomorrow's the big day where I actually get out of there.
Have you gotten through?
You still haven't beat Hades yet?
Nope, it's on my list, and I feel like if I don't do it now, I won't do it ever. So I'm trying to really keep myself. And it's so fun every time I go back into it. I'm like, this game is really fun to play, though. But yeah. So okay, all right. Let's take a break. Holy shit, we've been talking a lot. We have to talk about movies that are based off of video games, and it's a shit show. So there's a lot to talk about. So let's take a break, and then we'll get into it. And we're back, and we're getting ready to talk about video games and movies together, specifically movies that exist, that are based off of a video game. Not making video games, not people who play video games, but a story that came out of a video game, that's the medium, and then somebody said, hey, let's take a lot of money. Let's get some big Hollywood actors, some unknown directors, and let's make a movie because, hey, we'll make money, right?
Of course.
What do you guys think about this in general? Just in general, when it comes to video games and movies, like why don't they mix? Why is it that there are like really no good movies that are based off of video games?
Part of it, I think they're getting better as time has gone on, because
I'll give you that.
A lot of the horrible ones are a lot of older. Some of them I didn't even know exist, and I watched trailers of, and they look like the biggest piles of dog shit that I've ever seen. But, a lot of
the fidelity in general, like make a movie off of Mario Brothers, because that's notorious for being really shitty and all that stuff, and it is a bad movie,
so
but.
Bad.
Like, what were they supposed to do with that game? I mean...
live action was your first mistake. That movie should be animated for sure.
Good call.
Good call. I mean, Illumination, makers of Despicable Me and such movies like that, are making a Super Mario movie, which has the potential to be good, solely because it's animated and like the animation style that Illumination has. But I'm a little nervous about it. Just because
I'm not crazy about them. The Minion movies are dumb.
Listen,
and I feel like they're gonna go dumb. Oh, man, we're coming in
hot. If they don't have Charles Martinet as Mario, what are you fucking doing? Like, you need him. And also, if they make Mario like talk in like full sentences instead of just doing like his wahoos and fucking yippies, then you fucked up already. Like, you can't.
Hold on though. I mean, he will, right? But I mean, like Detective Pikachu had Ryan fucking Reynolds.
There was
as Pikachu, but then like
that's because it was.
I know that's like based.
Yeah, it was in the. I mean, that's how the Detective Pikachu game was. Like Pikachu, whatever, got a voice and everything. Yeah. But I mean, Mario doesn't talk. He says fucking sentence fragments. Like, it would just be weird if we just heard him like talking to Peach just casually, like, "Hey, what's up, Princess Peach?" You know. I don't know. I don't think I could get behind that.
So, well, I mean, I guess part of what you started with, Brandon, is why is it so tough? And like, why can't they make good movies a lot of times? And I think part of it is because they're trying to adapt like gameplay into an interesting movie. So like Mario gameplay platformers, I mean, that's tough to move from one to the other, but you're trying to adapt something that's fun to play into something that's fun to watch. And I think that's where a lot of the tricky stuff comes in. Like, you get the Mortal Kombat movies, like those were cool because, you know, you got the fighting scenes, and a lot of it also is like trying to squeeze in the fan service from games into movies, where it just feels like really ham-fisted.
Absolutely.
Where you're just trying to ram it in there.
It's like, hey, remember this from the game? Yeah.
Yeah. Like the Doom movie when they went to like the first person and weirdly and like.
Hey, that's the only good part of that movie though.
That's true. That's true.
And it's got my boy Carl Urban and it's got The Rock in it. But no, fuck that movie. That movie's trash.
Bad.
Well, hold on, Dave. Though, but you know, think about it. One of the weaknesses I think of video games, and I love video games, but is I think we don't get really good writing when it comes on a character level. So I was talking about how Uncharted, and you even made a note about it. You're like, yeah, like the dialogue between Nathan and Sully is really good, and it makes it a little bit more like a movie. So that way, when I'm like platforming or whatever, like the the camaraderie and the conversation is interesting enough to keep my attention as I do something mundane as whatever, like scaling like a wall or something like that. But overall though, I think is that we don't have enough information on characters.
Yeah.
So like when you watch like something like Tarantino, when he makes characters, Pulp Fiction mainly relies on just really awesome character creation, character dialogue, and the situations and the things they decide. Like, okay, when Bruce Willis and Marcel Wallace or whatever, when they deal with the GIMP scene and all that shit, right? When Bruce Willis leaves, there's so much tension between him and Marcellus' character that when he goes back, even to avenge him, he's like, that's fucked up. I gotta go back. That's like his character. It's the decisions that they make. You're always making the decisions for the characters in video games. So unless it's a cutscene, and it's just like you don't know that much about a character. It's like when a character fails, when the character shows up, when the character does this, when the character does that. It works really well in a movie. So when you look at a video game, we just don't know enough about the character to think, what would the Master Chief do in this situation? Because it's always kind of the same in video games. It's kind of flat. It's just like, it's about the gameplay, right? It's like, just kill. I mean, people are here to see the Master Chief kill aliens. We're never going to see how he handles love, how he deals with regret, how he deals with addiction. It's not part of the game.
It's true.
But when you see, like, what was one of the movies that we saw? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. We saw how, like, DiCaprio's character really cared about his reputation and legacy, and he couldn't shake off the booze, and he had his struggles, and we hope for the best. But I don't know. It's just like, that's, I think, why I personally think why games struggle is because there's not enough of the little things that what the character does in situations for them to say, because you just decide for them. It's like, well, you can stealth, you can go guns a-blazing, or you can talk your way out of this. That's about as deep as it gets.
In contrast to that, like you were saying with Uncharted, and especially Naughty Dog games like The Last of Us and stuff like that, like they have really good acting, they have really good fleshed out characters. So if you try to adapt that into a movie, like they're making a Last of Us TV show right now for HBO, which I'm a little bit nervous about, because we already know those characters. We already love those characters, and adapting them to, a movie or a TV show, if they're not the characters that we know and love, we're going to reject them immediately. You know what I'm saying?
And I mean, come on, right? Last of Us I haven't played the second one, but I have played some of the first one. And it's just like damn near close to being
exactly. It's already quality. A movie,
like,
basically.
Video games never have good acting. Video games never have good writing. They just don't. And it's just like, I don't care. You take the best. None of them are good. I literally can't stand the shit I hear in some of the Ubisoft games, even though I love their games. So this fucking dialogue is trash. I don't care. But like Last of Us, they know what they're doing. So like it's so small to make it on the big screen.
Exactly. Yeah, a game like that already has a really good story in the video game, I don't think there's a reason to try to adapt it to the screen. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that
you're just retelling.
Yep. Yeah. You're just rehashing it without the added interactivity that a video game gives you. So.
Just why I think the video games. I don't know.
You're absolutely right.
Video games are a unique medium where you're interacting. It's like an interactive storytelling in a lot of the story heavy games, which I think gives you a little more credence in the actions that the person's taking, because you're actually doing those actions as well. But when you're trying to watching Jake Gyllenhaal play Prince of Persia or something like that, like a lot of those,
dude,
like it doesn't translate the same. Yep. Where like you can try and take the story in bits and pieces, but a lot of it is how the screenwriters are taking, what pieces are they taking and how are they adapting it.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of the times, at least to me, it seems like the people working on the movies, there's no one involved who actually worked on the video game in like the actual process of writing and making the movie. And it just seems like a lot of times even the people working on the movie haven't even played the game. Like they just tangentially hear these details or read these details without actually playing.
They read the wiki.
Right. Exactly. They read the wiki and they're like, oh, let's make a movie out of this. And like,
which I liked about like when we watched Akira, because the guy who wrote the goddamn manga is also the same guy who did the movie, and like it came out like it's one of the best animes of all time. So it's I mean, it's a great point.
Yeah,
like if the tone doesn't match up too, that can get really jarring too. If the tone isn't quite there, like I'm thinking about like the Resident Evil movies, how they tried to. Like Resident Evil is like a horror series, and then you get to the movies, and they try and turn them into like action-y movies.
Resident Evil,
so it's kind of
bad.
like it doesn't mix.
So bad.
Like, Dave, how did you feel when they didn't bring like when they made the Resident Evil movie? I was like, fuck yeah! And then they created a character, and I was just like, no, we have characters. We have Jill, we have Chris, we have Leon. Why are you? What's the fear? Unless she's going to be in the game, or the characters from the game are going to cross paths with her, and they kind of do in the later ones. But like it's like the Ninja. I brought that up before with like Jurassic Park, where like I know I can't just see like the Ninja Turtles act like they would in the cartoon, but like you're gonna have all the characters, but then you're not gonna do Bebop and Rocksteady, and then you can introduce these other characters that in the second one that are not Bebop and Rocksteady, but it's two other. It's just like, just give us the fucking things that we want. God damn it! Like I don't understand. Like I understand it's a fine line. Give them what they want. Give them what they don't want. All that stuff. But like, it's just it is frustrating, and it is tricky. You gotta know the source material, and you gotta know the audience. But
it's also
it drives me crazy. Resident Evil is a series that I got disappointed in. Even though I kind of liked the first one at the time.
Yeah, I mean, the Resident Evil movie franchise and video game franchise are like two completely separate entities. Like in the first like two movies, I think they cross paths a little bit. Like Nemesis, I think, was in the second Resident Evil movie, but like after
they create him in the first one,
right?
And then Jill, I think, is in the second one. Maybe Chris or something like that is in the second one.
After the first couple, like the franchise, like the movie franchise, completely just goes off the rails and does its own thing, which is insane. I think I've only seen the first one actually, but I had no interest in watching those other ones.
No.
Well, hold on real quick. I just took it, kind of put things into perspective, and I'll let you guys kind of react to this, but I did crunch some numbers, did some research for this episode.
Oh boy.
And so, we're the same guys who talked about why do they make why do sequels just typically not kind of hold up, right? And it's a money grab. Like we saw that a sequel is it does like vastly better than the first one financially.
Right.
The audience is there. They like the character. They like the world.
If the first one is successful, right?
Yeah. So it's just like you just guaranteed money, right? So it is kind of crazy because when I was looking at these movies across the last few decades, I can see why they do it. I don't see why they can't make a good one, but I see why they do make movies based off of video games. So Sonic came out in 2020. Good. It's on the better side.
It's on the better side of video game movies. It's not great.
Yeah, go watch a fucking Pixar animated movie. That's for families, and it's amazing. Go watch Sonic, and it's just like, this is like McDonald's, right?
It's fine.
It's not. It's satisfying, but it's not. You didn't make. You can watch it. It's not like I'm going to turn the shit off. Like, yeah. But anyways, $319.7 million worldwide box office. And it costs $85 to $90 million to make. Now I don't know if with the whole like redoing the CG on Sonic,
right? I'm sure that added to a lot of the budget.
And in general, marketing budget and all that stuff, like it comes in. But I just saw these numbers. But man, like less than 100, and you got in 300, over 300. That's pretty good. And the Rotten Tomatoes score was 63. Detective Pikachu 2019, $433 million box office, $150 million budget, got a 68. That's probably the best rated
also
video game movie I found.
Also a good video game movie.
I like that one.
I haven't seen it yet, but now that my son's like really into Pokemon, I gotta go and watch it.
Detective Pikachu is actually pretty good. Like even as a fan of Pokemon, it, you know, it hit some of that nostalgia for me. And even if you like, I saw it with my wife, and you know, she's not into Pokemon at all, and she actually enjoyed it too. So like, I think that is a good sign. I mean, that's a sign of a good movie overall, but also a video game movie. For someone who hasn't played the game to still actually enjoy the movie as just a movie is an accomplishment.
Because that one had some good world building.
Yeah, it was the world.
I mean, 68 is fucking not a good movie, but for video games, we were like, it's pretty good for it. You know, like, what is it about this one?
I never got into Pokemon. I never played the games. I never collected the cards, nothing. I just tangentially know a handful of them from Smash Brothers or whatever. But like I was saying, the world and seeing, you know, how, I don't know, how it would be in real life if Pokemon actually existed, like riding a bus and having some weird fucking one lick you in the face, or I don't know, see how certain Pokemon interact with, like, this one's like working with the fire department, or this one's doing like a police Pokemon, or stuff like that. I think it grounds it enough where you can tell a good story in that world.
Yeah, it makes it believable, you know.
Yeah.
It makes the Pokemon fitting in with like real life people actually believable. And like I said, the CGI looks really good. They do hit some of those like nostalgic notes for Pokemon fans, and I mean, like I said, Ryan Reynolds is funny. His performance is great as Pikachu, so that's enough to keep you going through the movie.
All right. Well, it got a 68. I don't think that's a great number, but that's it. Everything else is lower. So, like, I looked at Tomb Raider, like that one that came out just a couple years ago. Not even the one with like Angelina Jolie, but like another actress, and it got a 52.
Oh, I forgot about that.
But it did make $274.7 million in the box office off a budget of like less than 100. Assassin's Creed 2016 had Michael Fassbender, right? $240 million that it made. Cost $125 million to make, though. So $125 million to make that movie. I didn't even watch it. I saw the trailer. Like, no, it's not gonna be good. Got an 18. How do you get $125 million and look at the planet and say, somebody write me a movie? I have $125 million to make this. I got Michael Fassbender, great actor. How do you? I feel like I could do it. I feel like I could do it.
It's just the name. It's just the IP, man. Like, the IP is what sells. It's not the actual movie. Like,
good point. I'm looking at Warcraft 2016, off of a budget of $160 million. It made $439 million worldwide, and it only had a 28.
I think it's all based on how popular the IP. Like, fans of the IP are probably more than likely going to see that movie. Like, you know, there's so many people that play World of Warcraft.
I feel bad for video game fans, though, because we're being taken advantage of, because we're giving them our money and we're getting nothing in return. Dude, ready for this one? Did you know Tekken had, I don't know why fighting games have movies.
Yes.
I know what Mortal Kombat does, but like Street Fighter obviously did, and all that stuff. But like, I didn't know Tekken had a fucking movie. Came out in 2010.
Yep.
It cost $30 million to make. It made $1.7 million in the box office.
Oh my god! Wow.
It has a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes.
0.
The next best movie, which is like equally worse, it got a 1, and it was called Alone in the Dark. It had Christian Slater and girlfriend Tara Reid. She's an archaeologist. And it was just like, oh my god,
that's believable.
Who wrote this shit?
I mean, that sounds...
Yeah, $20 million budget, $12.7 million at the box office. Got a 1 on Rotten Tomatoes. Blood Rain got a 4 on Rotten Tomatoes. Max Payne got a 16.
Oh,
dude,
that Max Payne movie was horrible.
I didn't
with
see
Mark
it.
Wahlberg.
I didn't see it.
Oh my god, I loved Max Payne.
Double Dragon got a movie for some reason. 1994 got a 13.
That's one of the ones I saw the trailer for. I didn't even know it existed. I watched the trailer for that, and that looks like Super Mario Brothers type level of like hot 90s garbage, where they just like, well, grab an IP and we'll make a movie.
Dude, I swear, like, I don't know how these directors or writers get these IPs that have, it just seems like they have no idea like what the video game even is, or they've never played it. They've barely ever heard
the
of
wiki
it.
synopsis, and then they go from that.
They read the back of the box on the game, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we could make a movie out of this," and then they just go and do their own thing.
Do you think the movie people are like fucking video game people, and then video game people are like fucking movie people, and they just like
I have no idea.
They don't get along.
I don't know if like these video game companies are just selling out their IPs to these movie companies just for the money.
But they spent so much time making these games and growing an audience.
You would think you would want a good representation of your video game in movie form. You would want it to do it justice, but
I mean, Nintendo said after Mario Brothers they'll never do it again, and they really haven't since. I mean, Detective Pikachu, I guess, but
I mean, we're getting to the point in Hollywood where everything is a remake, or they're remastering it, or they're just trying to dredge up any old IP of a movie that they can to like do a reboot of something. And video games are like the perfect breeding ground for like an IP with a cool
with an audience.
Yeah, it's got and you already know what the world is, you already know what the plot is, you already know the characters in it, and just like take that and make a good movie out of it. But
well, Dave,
a lot of it
just
doesn't add up.
Well, think about this. You'll like this. Mortal Kombat, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Mortal Kombat has 3 movies. I know they have some kind of animated ones, but 1995 they came out with Mortal Kombat, which is actually I think watchable. I have not seen that movie in probably like 20 years, but
it's campy and the CG is pretty bad, but
some of the CG is really bad. Yeah. It had a budget of $18 million, made $122.2 million back in 1995, and a Rotten Tomatoes score of 44, which, as bad as that is, sadly, it's on the higher side for video game movies. But I didn't know that the second one.
Well, 94, you got to think when they did that, they're probably only the first or maybe second game were out, and they're probably riding the frenzy of like, oh my God, violence in video games and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, good point.
They probably just pluck that one right up. Like, oh, you got all the characters there, just make a blood sport movie with these characters in it. Done. Clap your hands. You're good.
It was like an early era too. It was hard to kind of like convert. I mean, like, and all that stuff. And CG is still trying to find its way, and they're trying to figure out how to do CG because not everybody has like Spielberg's like attention to detail. But then I saw in 1997 they had the sequel, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, had a budget of $30 million. So they basically doubled the first one, and it only made $51 million. Because the first one went from 18 to 122. Yeah, I did. It was trash. But then 2021, earlier this year, for $55 million, they made what was the name of the new one? Was there a name?
Wasn't it just Mortal Kombat?
Just Mortal Kombat.
I thought it was just Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
Okay. It made 83.6. Not much at all. The first one in 1995 made more. This movie did not make much money. Now, obviously, came out during COVID.
I saw that one on
HBO,
I
don't know. I was going to say, I don't know if that has anything to do with
HBO
Max being on there. I don't know how they factor that in.
That's a little bit tricky. Sure. But it got a 55. So,
It was, yes, that one had some of the same problems where they're like squeezing in video game catchphrases and lines and
too much. It's watchable. The action was good.
And like you said before, like they put in the main character of the movie is a guy that's not in the games.
No, I know.
Like just some random dude.
Why? We all know it should be Johnny Cage or Liu Kang or Sub-Zero. Yeah. These are the 3 characters. Or this one, they actually made Scorpion a fucking good guy for some reason. But, that's who you. Why did they do that? Give me Sonya Blade. Give me anybody from the OG characters. Give me Raiden.
Damn straight. But
that's what you want. Yeah, exactly. Yep. I feel like they just
not too much fan service, but yeah.
Yep.
They not random people that we don't care about.
Now, I did notice that it was the family movies. I'm sorry, the video game movies that are aimed more for families did better. Sonic and Detective Pikachu, specifically lately, have done well. They're in the 60s, where Detective Pikachu is a 68, which is pretty much in the good area. Like I feel like anything over 65 is a good movie, and it just may be a matter of is it your taste or not. Where like I think like when you get into the 90s, like most people like this. in the late 60s, early 70s, I think that number is more of like, you may like this, you know? But it's something I noticed, you know? So I don't know if you guys want to talk more about numbers, but it just seems like I could see why the industry does what they do. And I think we understand that there's a big disconnect between the team that made the video game and the team that's making the movie. They just are approaching the franchise, or there's people between them that are just getting in the way, like fucking suits that just don't understand the medium.
Yeah, it just seems like in general, like even like video games portrayed, not like a movie based on a video game, but the way video games are portrayed in movies and TV shows, it just seems like nobody in the movie industry has ever played a video game. Like,
right? Like when somebody's son's playing a video game,
they're holding like a PS4 controller and it's making like Space Invaders sounds. Like, what the fuck are you doing? That's not.
Everybody plays video games like they're playing like Tekken on like the hardest level.
They're just button mashing like crazy.
They're just button mashing. It's like when somebody hacks in a video game or hacks in a movie, when they're hacking on the computer.
Yep, exactly.
It's just like, there's a fucking mouse. I don't know. It's just
like, even if they show a video game like on screen, it's like the most like generic, like either first person shooter or like, they just portray it as something super violent. Or like you said, if they're holding like a PS4 controller, it's something that's like like an 8-bit platformer. I don't know. And just the way they portray video games and movies is always just wrong. It feels off. It feels like they've never played a video game in their life.
The Jumanji game, the Jumanji movie, the new one, the newer two that they put out, I actually think they do a pretty good job handling video game lingo and all that stuff. Whatever. In defense, but yeah, overall, man, most movies are just, and TV shows are just trash at it. Would you agree, Dave, or do you?
Absolutely. Yeah, in general, it's kind of like Eric put it, like they haven't even seen or played a video game since like the 90s or whatever. They just kind of generally make gross generalizations about stuff. But do you still have the numbers up? There's one more movie I'm curious about. What about Rampage in 2018?
Oh, I saw that movie recently. I didn't look that one up because there's literally so many.
Super horrible. I'm just curious because
I like The Rock.
It's a game about.
I like gorillas.
It's a game about like mutated giant monsters knocking down buildings. If you like
King Kong versus Godzilla, you'll like this.
Yeah,
it's not any better. It's not any worse. I think they're all just like dumb action movies. I would watch it actually. I thought George was pretty good, the white gorilla character.
That one is funny though because like. You literally have like an 8-bit game about monsters punching down buildings, and they're gonna turn it into that's the one you pick out of all of them. I have a whole list of games here for when we're done with this. Of like,
go for it. Let's go into it.
Stuff that needs to be turned into a video game, and
I have a list. Like, let's do it.
Like, Rampage. I love the game too. Let's be honest, it's a fantastic game from back in the day, but. Well, I kind of broke mine down into a little different. So I had games that need to be movies because they're more like self-contained stories, and then games that need to be like series, like on HBO or Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay. I kind of Let's hear it. We'll just
Eric mentioned Fallout, which I completely forgot that Prime is doing a run of, but we talked about this on Discord for a little bit. But a game that would be fantastic as a series. Fantastic world, one of the most original IPs out there. Fucking BioShock.
Yeah, dude.
Would be like the coolest, like, not horror, but like a suspenseful, like dark movie or like series where, you start, maybe after Rapture's already started, but
yes, I would do it when Rapture has not fallen yet, right? We talked about this where like let's just get like cool ass characters, get a really cool plot because the world is already there. So it's just like
got the aesthetic, that dark Art Deco aesthetic on everything. God,
yes,
fucking beautiful. Get a lot of unknown actors and actresses that you don't immediately recognize from other things. Like you start it after Rapture's there, you get to know the world in like the first 2 or 3 seasons, and then eventually,
or like a show that's called like The Fall of Rapture. And we see the decline. And then we just see like they don't make a video game about it. It's a TV show and it does that. And these characters can all be like dead or leave or whatever before the game starts. Like I think you could do it. So I mean,
sure,
that's a great.
You could have Andrew Ryan option in it, but That was the first one that I kind of had as a game to be a series. Game to be movies, I thought, and these are more live action, I guess. I broke it into live action and animated.
Okay.
But like a suspense horror version of a Metroid movie.
I was thinking about Metroid too.
Would be badass because
it could. I mean, Metroid is basically Alien, so there you go.
I was gonna say, I feel like it'd be like Alien, but more like action-y.
And you're really just following Samus more or less around, which might get a little boring. So that's what kind of got that Alien feeling to it. The suspense horror kind of being stalked and stuff like that. That one would be super cool. The Mass Effect series would be,
of course. I mean, like, such a rich world and so many different characters.
Yep. Yes, it
cool
really would be
everywhere.
awesome.
And you could probably squeeze like that first game into a movie. Like, you know, it got weird towards the third game of Mass Effect.
I would just go in the world and just make something that complements the series.
I was gonna say,
like,
it doesn't have to be Shepard. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think it would benefit from that, like side story. Like it's like Star Wars. There's so many different worlds and galaxies. You could go pretty much anywhere you want and make a story, you know, in a specific place.
Imagine if it was a humanoid, right? You know, and he's just like whatever kind of character. And he just comes across Rex, you know?
Right.
Or whatever. And he's just like, Rex and him have to like, he's like, I'll tell you, but you got to help me bust out my cousin or something like that. And it's just like, that's enough. That's all we need to see is like a likable character like Rex just make a cameo to get the connective tissue. That's how you would do the fan service. And that's it. I don't need to see a retelling of the first Mass Effect. I'll play the game.
Something like, I mean, I guess it could be a series too, like Mandalorian style. You know, just a side story.
Sure, the Mandalorian really did change how you can just like make a character that lives in that beautiful world that we all adore. And yeah, Game of Thrones, Mandalorian, they've done a very, very, very good job with some of those the TV format.
The open world games, I think, lend themselves to be more like seasonal stories because like you can just take like The Witcher, like you can take a one-off mission from the game and just turn that into an episode. Like it kind of it fits very nicely.
I mean, it already is a show right now, but yeah.
And that's kind of what they do. Yeah,
series.
That's a lot of the stuff that they do in the show on Netflix is based like that. So you know, you're going to kill a genie or something like that, and you just turn that into an episode, and kind of the story evolves from there, and you don't actually have to tell the Witcher story, Witcher 3 or whatever. But
exactly,
you know, bits and pieces of character development that you pull from those specific missions and stuff like
you said, it's about the world for sure. You need a good world to build off of that already has like a lot of like built-in lore and characters that you can reference, and then just make an original story within that world.
Sure.
I thought that like Batman Arkham Asylum was really fun actually as a video game, and I was like, would this make a good movie? Because there are good Batman movies. And I don't know. I think it'd be really, really, really fun if they did something like that in the big screen and kind of take like 8 beloved villains and just put them on the big screen and just see kind of like Dredd. Like that whole movie takes place with Dredd just stuck with his rookie partner in this big ass tower building apartment kind of neighborhood thing, and he's just got to fight his way to the top and take out the bad guy. And I think if they did it with, I don't know, it'd be really cool to see like 8 villains get loose in Arkham Asylum, and they're all fucking with Batman. And I don't know. I mean, we've all played that game, right?
Yeah, that's a good setting too. That just the setting of Arkham Asylum.
Yeah,
you don't have to spend any time doing anything outside of it. It would just be very focused.
Yeah, I like that.
Very like.
I think that's what worked about Arkham Asylum is that it was like confined to the asylum. I mean, with like the later games with City and Night, you got the entirety of Gotham. So
true.
I think
which are great, but yeah,
the storytelling in Asylum definitely is much better, and then I think it would lend itself well to a movie. Yeah.
Eric, what do you got on your list?
Try this on for size, Brandon.
Okay.
Overwatch.
Yep.
Made by Pixar.
I have that. Overwatch.
Do you
Pixar
really?
Style.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yep. I have Super Mario Brothers 3 and Overwatch, because I think Super Mario Brothers 3, the Koopalings, I think you could have a lot of fun just focusing on Mario trying to deal with these annoying Koopalings. So I had that as a Pixar style.
Yeah.
And then I had Overwatch, because it already, Dave, right? We would talk about
They're
this.
so the shorts are so good.
Oh yeah.
How do they just not make
shorts
a
are so good
movie?
And like, well, it wasn't made by Pixar, but have you guys seen Big Hero 6? Like, it's basically,
I never did.
It's really good. I mean, it's made by Disney Animation Studios, but
yeah,
same branch. It's really good. It's like an Overwatch style thing, like a superhero kind of team up style thing. But I mean, just give Pixar any fucking license, any video game license, and they'll just spin gold with it.
I mean, look what they did with fucking Wreck-It Ralph, man.
Oh my god, that is one of the best video game movies that's not actually based on a real video game.
I know. I mean, that was one of the rules where like it's not about the video games themselves, but like that it does a really good job, especially the first one.
Oh, so good. I love it.
Knowing the source material.
Yeah.
That's what's cool, because those animators,
and they make good references too to like real video games,
Yep.
Yes.
Like, and they work within that world.
100%. Yeah. That was a great that's a good. Yeah, I didn't even think about that movie.
No, me neither.
But yeah, with Pixar, it's like you can trust Pixar. Like if Disney, but Pixar and Nintendo were talking, it's like it's
a perfect fit.
If Pixar said we will be doing the next Mario, or
I even had Zelda, Legend of Zelda
Kirby,
on my list for
or Zelda.
Pixar.
Yeah, it's just like I would trust them with Nintendo. 100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
That's a perfect fit.
The Zelda one I had on my honorable mentions because I don't know if it would make a good movie. Like, I'm sure it's got a cool world.
I think that's why
it never talks.
I think that's why it lends itself good to a movie, because they can kind of expand on that
I'll
story
tell you how you
in
do
that
it.
world.
I got it. Ready? You call it The Legend of Zelda, and it stars Zelda. Link isn't in it. And if he is, he's only in it as a sidekick.
I do like. Honestly,
her movie.
That's a good idea. I like that. Link. I think Link has to be in it, but he'll be a side character. Yeah, like you said.
Yeah, women have been like trying to do Ocean's 8. They've been trying to do Ghostbusters, and I feel bad for like female writers. I do understand what's going on, and I get it, but I don't like. And I think many people have an issue where it's just like you're just taking male characters and just putting a female thing. Like, just do something more. And you have this amazing character ready to go.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Give Zelda
100%.
Give her movie. It would be so fucking badass. I would love to see it. And you see Link just kind of like surfing on his shield and just kind of like, whoa, Princess Way. I can just see him kind of not keeping up with her because she's supposed to be kind of badass. And the franchise is already named after her. And I can see the trailer, like, find out why the franchise is named after her or why it's called The Legend, and just do it.
It has to be
awesome.
I don't think live action would be as effective as
No,
animated.
Pixar
for sure. Like, they have such a good blend of like the comedy, clearly, and then they also have the serious, like, tear-jerking moments. Like, I think they could do it some serious justice.
Yep.
You gotta have somebody die in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Exactly. You gotta have that sad Pixar moment in the beginning.
Oh yeah, it could be like her mother. I don't know if she has a mother, but you
never know.
There's the father, but yeah, I'm trying to think if there's a mother in any of the games, or a sister. Like we never knew that Zelda had a sister and she dies, or a brother that dies, and all that stuff. Like, you could do something. I mean, like Up alone is like how I just know that Pixar can just make me emotional.
I've been watching Up a lot lately, and that
beautiful
is
music.
A great movie. Oh my god, yeah. Just the beginning gets me every time. It's so sad.
Ugh.
I am down to do a movie review or just talk about Pixar.
We need to do a Pixar episode. Like
Up and Toy Story movies, I have to mentally be ready to watch them because they do make me cry, especially as an adult. I just like, man, that is like when she couldn't have the kid when his in Up, like his wife couldn't have a child. She was like painting the room and trying to have, and all this stuff. It's just like, oh my god, man!
Yep,
just like
that gets you
so good. And like video games don't make me feel that, and they could do that. but video games don't hit me like a movie does and our TV show does, and I would like to see more of that. Actually, do you guys mind if we change into movies that would make good video games? Did you guys
Let's do it?
think about that at all?
Of those too. Yeah.
All right, yeah. Unless we want to make a 3-hour episode, but yeah, like, what do you guys got in that list for like movies that you think would make good video games? And I know that there's a lot of them out there, and I'm sure we'll talk about some that already exist, but like we're talking about a good one, like what I would do. So yeah, let's have fun with it. What do you got?
Go ahead, Dave.
Well, I got a couple here, and some are better than others, but like
yeah, whatever.
With the new Assassin's Creed Valhalla being out, I was flipping through movies or whatever, and I'm like, wouldn't fucking Braveheart make a good movie where you're just like roaming around the English countryside and, you know, doing shit for kings and all that kind of stuff? Braveheart, I don't know. It's got a cool setting. You can skip Mel Gibson and whatever, but it's an interesting one. I saw a trailer for a movie I haven't seen, but it had me at the title. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Let's take that and make a game out of it, please.
All right, Eric, what's your list?
Oh my god.
Who doesn't want to be Abraham Lincoln swimming around a silver dipped axe and just murdering vampires? But
I don't know why that wasn't a video game instead of a movie, honestly.
Like
I don't know how the movie
it literally
did,
sounds like
it sounds
something.
like a game. Yeah, it sounds like an amazing game, actually.
Sure. All right, Eric, knock it out.
Oh my god. I didn't have too many of these ones. I focused more on the video game to movie adaptation, but
yeah.
I mean, I feel like you could take pretty much any like Tarantino movie and turn it into a video game. I mean, there's
interesting because I tried really hard to.
They're
think
already
of how that would
so
work.
like over the top. I think Kill Bill, obviously. I mean, I feel like that's the first choice. Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's already like a revenge story.
Action.
You have
it's a badass with the sword.
Yep, badass with a sword. She has this list of people that she needs to kill one by one.
Open world,
yep.
Bitch. I love it.
You just go through one by one, taking out each of your targets. I mean, it could be like a Hitman style game, but open world would be awesome. But yeah, I think Kill Bill would be great. Super cool combat mechanics. With the
what
sword
was her
and everything.
name? The bride. What was her name in the movie? Did we know her name or no?
I don't know if she actually had a name. Yeah.
So they should just call it Kill the Bride, and you're the daughter of Vivica A. Fox, because that's what fans wanted, is to see Uma Thurman, how she says, like, one day you're going to come after me and I'll be ready.
Yeah, she's just credited as the bride.
Like, surprise, motherfuckers. Tarantino worked with, like, I don't know, Naughty Dog and made, you know, this game.
Mm-hmm.
That would be really, really fucking cool, because you could be like that daughter and you're like ready, and then go against Uma Thurman, and then it's up to you if you lose or kill her or something like that.
Ooh, this is another good one.
Good
this is another good one. The Martian. Have you guys seen that one? With Matt Damon.
Oh, kind of more of like a realistic game, like a simulator.
Yeah, so
it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, you get crashed on Mars. It would kind of be like a survival simulation, but your ultimate goal is basically to escape Mars and get back to Earth. That already sounds like a video game plot to me. You know, grow your own food, craft different survival things from your ship parts, and you gotta collect different parts to repair your spaceship and get off Mars.
I was like digging into the 80s movies, and I was thinking, like, how cool would it be to make like a Goonies video game where like 2 years later from the movie, the kids are like bored and they had success and kind of some popularity for like figuring out like the mystery of One-Eyed Willie and all that stuff from the first one, that they come across another adventure, because the first one they kind of come across a map, and that's what kind of draws them into the finding the treasure and all that stuff. But what if there was more to Willie's like adventures, and they learn that too, and you're playing like this game where you're the main character, the main kid. God, what is his name? Does anybody remember his name? Mikey,
yeah.
And yeah, if you're Mikey and you get in all those characters, and you go in, and you're like kind of you play as him, but you have all the other kids with you, and everybody's like down, and you're kind of just going in and exploring. It's like more of a puzzle game.
Sounds like a Rare game or something. Like you can switch between the different characters and stuff
exactly.
Like that.
So you use Data to do these things. You'd use Chunk to do these things. You'd use the older brother to do these things, and like it'd be really fun, I think, to kind of like have kind of like a game, Grand Theft Auto 5 approach, where like sometimes like the girls, they might not be with you, but they might be like in other places, and like they might be like at the arcade, and they're trying to flirt with like some of the boys to get information, to get like keys so they can go to like somebody's garage that has an entranceway to like a secret passage. I think they could do something like that with a Grand Theft Auto 5 approach to the neighborhood, and we really could have a open world approach to the Goonies. I don't know, that was an idea I had. Yeah, exactly. So I thought Goonies is just like so fun, and I think a lot of people like those characters, and we never really got to see more of it, and it'd be really cool because the Ghostbusters video game was pretty cool, and that was just like you're the recruit and you get to go with these guys. Like that was kind of cool. For some reason that worked. I don't know why, but it did. And then I had you guys like horror movies?
Sure.
Dabble.
Okay. Tell me this would not be an amazing game. Tremors. Ever watch Tremors?
I could see that.
Oh,
dude,
time.
Could you imagine the guys who make Resident Evil 7 made Tremors, and it's just high fidelity, and it's very slow paced, and you're walking around, dude, you touch that ground, you don't know if you're going to get eaten up by one of those giant worm things. I think it would be sick. You got to get gas in the neighborhood. You got to go through the roof. I think Tremors would be an amazing video game. I really do.
I could see that.
I also think Jaws would make a fantastic video game where you're balancing
there have been Jaws
stuff.
Video games.
Yeah, but fuck those stupid
There's
video
a
games.
bunch of Jaws video games.
And not being the shark, but like you're actually like the person trying to keep the beach going, and like you're trying to take care of the beach, because that's the whole point of that movie and that book is
beach
that
sim.
They want the whole area relies on the tourism of the beach, but there's a shark eating people, and they're really in denial of how dangerous the shark is, and it's just like, I think we're safe, and that's what makes that movie book really good. I think that'd be really cool in a video game if it was in the style of like Firewatch, where it's like artsy-ish, but it's got a lot of detail, but it's artsy. And just kind of have simple mechanics, but like when you're in the water, or you have to like kind of figure out where the shark is. I think that would be extremely stressful, even if it was artsy, especially going in the water and kind of figuring stuff out. But I don't know. I thought that'd be really cool. What other games did you guys have?
We're getting into some of my better ones, I guess. You guys talked about it recently, and there have been games made for it, but an actual like third person, stealth action like Jurassic Park game.
Of course.
Like I don't want this fucking park simulator. I don't want to build my own park or whatever. I want to literally
right.
walk around either in first or third person, I guess, whatever. And then like actually be there to witness like the shit happen. Like
I'm imagining it being like kind of like Alien Isolation almost, you got like the raptors hunting you. You're trying to hide from them.
Thank you for saying that.
And
the old games had you like shooting the fucking dinosaurs. It's just like people like Jurassic Park because they brought dinosaurs that have been extinct in real life. They're extinct. This movie did the best job bringing them back to life in a way. This is the closest we've ever seen them back to life, is in fucking movies and high fidelity. And then you put them in a video game, you're just gunning them down. You fucking idiots. Don't you understand why we like the movies? Because they're alive.
So who are you playing? Are you just playing as Grant then?
That's what I was kind of thinking. Like, do you switch between them? Do you want it to try and retell that first movie? Or
no. That movie's
something...
so...
Yeah, because it's
no.
It's so iconic
or
that it's
you
tough
could
to...
a documentary film goes into like
that's what I'm thinking
or something,
like go
it's a survival
after the events of the Jurassic Park, after the initial events of the first movie,
but in. Like a month later too,
right.
So everything's still kind of fresh, so it looks like the movie,
Yes.
And it's not falling apart, but it's just like, there's a fucking T-Rex, it could just eat me, you know?
Yeah, and you find
Or other
Muldoon living in the
dinosaurs.
bushes because he never got killed by the raptors.
I would love to see that because he doesn't.
Fuck.
You don't. I mean, you see the dinosaur.
You see the dinosaur
take a
on
bite.
top of him, yes, but
He could have shot. Well, no, because it. Yeah, I don't know. He didn't survive that.
no, I don't think he's.
No.
Sam Jackson's still alive. He just lost an arm. How about that?
Yeah, he's just running
Or
around,
Wayne
around out there, no arm.
Yeah, or Wayne Knight's character is just out there. It's like, oh god, I gotta win. I've been living on this island.
Oh my god, could you imagine?
That would be sweet though. You're just like walking around, and then you like stumble upon that spot where you see the Jeep up on the hill with the fucking waterfall coming down,
Thank you,
the
man.
water pouring
Yeah,
down.
I would love to see that.
Mhm.
Yes.
So you can just
Yep.
like investigate the island. You know that would be a pretty sweet one.
That's what people want to do, especially when it goes from the movie to a video game. It's just like, can we explore more of the set?
Yeah.
Yep.
You can go see what's over here. But
Mhm.
that was a good one. You guys got anything else? I still got a couple.
Can
left.
we get a good Back to the Future video game someday?
I have Back to the Future on here. I know that like Telltale did it, and
It wasn't
was okay.
great, yeah. And
The
there's
acting was
an
kinda
old
bad.
ass NES game that's terrible.
And
That's about
horrible.
it. That's about it.
that was that era of bad games. Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. Yeah, I would love to see that because who doesn't love that world, man?
hmm Yeah, exactly.
Ah.
Just going around.
How would you do it? How would you do it?
I mean,
what team would do it?
in my head, I'm picturing like just like a third person,
Mhm.
like narrative action type game.
Like Grand Theft Auto 5, maybe, where like you're playing Doc, Marty,
Yeah,
the girlfriend.
You could,
That'd be kinda cool.
I could see you switching between the characters if we're going with,
or his dad.
yeah, if we're going with, I guess you could do Back to the Future Part 2 if you know going, but I guess this game would probably combine all of the movies. I'm seeing it, you know, because then you could jump between the different time periods, or each chapter of the game,
Or it's 4.
is a different.
Back to the Future 4.
That we could go, yeah, do that too, an original story. But yeah, I'm thinking of third person action, going around talking to everybody in Hill Valley.
Traveling around Hill Valley would be cool.
Yep,
That'd be super.
Dude,
hopping in the
they should
DeLorean.
do Back to the Future 4 should take place where like they got to go back to like 2006. Some random or no 5. It probably would be 2005. But it would be really funny to go to like the 90s or the 2000s because like the movies came out in the 90s and 80s. So they always went back or they went to the future or they went way back in the past in the 1800s. I think it'd be kind of funny just to put them in there with like Limp Bizkit and I don't know, like you know, like yeah, you know, just like those bands are kind of around.
It could even be like maybe not action, but more like a puzzle, more like an adventure game, I guess. Because like you would have to be going to like different time periods to, you know, you have to go to the future to get whatever, the sports almanac or whatever, bring it back and give it to someone, you know, stuff like that, where you got to switch between different time periods and solve these different puzzles.
Right, and don't touch anything, don't get in the way. It's kind of like a stealth game.
Mm-hmm. Like
adventure
there could
game.
be a really cool system where there's consequences if you mess with stuff or, you know, put stuff in the wrong place or accidentally talk to someone you're not supposed to, stuff like that.
Dude, that would be so cool. Like, imagine if Marty and his dad have to do a mission together and they have to, like, get into, like, a building. One of them scales the back of the building and get to the rooftop, and then you switch over to the dad and it's like, all right, now you go in and, like, distract him. And it's like, all right, now I'm going to come in and, like, sneak in and, you know, like, that would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Faux show.
It would,
I would love. I have that on my list.
Yep.
That would be really cool.
Just imagine if they had like a sort of nemesis system, like in the Shadow of Mordor games.
McFly,
But
McFly, I told you not. I thought I told you not to come in here.
exactly.
What are you doing? And he beats the shit out of you, and then he, oh, dude.
Like depending on
fun.
what you do in each time period, you'll make new enemies, and you know, and they'll confront you in different time periods.
Dude.
Yep,
That'd be cool.
Damn,
that'd be
dude.
insane.
That would be so hard. I mean, it's hard to do time, like jumping around time in movies. Could you imagine in a video game where, like, now I'm going to go back to 2007 or I'm going to go back into 2050? What's there? But it would be cool if you like did something like a side mission maybe, and it like put something out of business, so like that business isn't there. But if you didn't put it out of business, that business is still there in the future. That I do like that.
Yep. Yeah, that would be tough to pull off, but if they could do it, that would be awesome.
What about you, Dave? You got any others?
I got a good one. Have you guys seen I'm going by the 1981 classic Clash of the Titans?
Oh yeah.
It's based off of Greek mythology.
I'll give you that. That would be
old Harry Hamlin
dope.
movie. It had back then they were using like stop animation and stuff like that for their special effects, so it didn't age the greatest. But
wait, does it have Medusa in it?
It does. It has Medusa.
That Medusa seems scary still.
Playing as Perseus, yeah, that part is pretty fucking creepy. But playing as Perseus, you're the grandson of Zeus.
Zeus, yep.
And you're trying to rescue Andromeda or save Andromeda, but you have to go kill Medusa. You have to trap what's the Pegasus? Yeah, is it Pegasus? Yeah,
it's Pegasus. Yeah, the flying horse.
Yeah. You got to answer. You got to answer.
Are you
riddles,
thinking like God of War kind of gameplay?
Yeah, you'd need a fair amount of world building, like God of War, where you got to like flesh out a lot of the cities and stuff. That you'd have to pack in a fair amount of side missions, but the main story would be you basically having to go kill Medusa and then fight the Kraken at the end of the movie. But I don't know, that movie always seemed like it was underappreciated, and then they redid it in 2010-ish.
I was gonna say I saw the remake, and the
remake was not as good as the 81 classic, but that one was super good. And then one that I thought is just, it's almost kind of like a video game, is Westworld. Just the actual park of Westworld. You don't have to follow. You don't have to follow the show because
I know there's like a mobile game.
Off the show. Oh, is there?
Because when you heard about that, how that Westworld, mobile game, like kind of ripped off the.
It was a rip off of Fallout Shelter. Yeah, they literally took the same code and like. Yeah,
there was a whole controversy code stuck in there, and they're like, "See, like in the I saw that. I was like, that's kind of literally bullshit."
But that whole thing is kind of very video gamey in of itself, where you have like these specific worlds, and you have events that take place in those worlds that are I'm assuming they're repeating every day for different visitors that are coming in. So I don't know what angle you go at it from, but
no, it'd be like Portal, where like there's like the world that we want you to think you're in. But if you notice some of these tiles, or there's some,
there'll have to be a little. It would be a mystery.
You would sneak into the actual
solve.
Facility.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dude. I think it'd be like balancing of being an android and knowing that you're an android and you've been created, but you've reached the ability of like, I deserve to live, and I was given this gift because of Bern Arnold, and it'd be really cool.
It would be like a. It would be like a fucking. The time loop games are all the rage now, but it would be like a time loop game where like each day you would go through the same loop, but you would kind of have to like figure out what's going on, or like you'll find, interact with one character one day, or like you said, Brandon, you'll find something like behind the scenes that you weren't supposed to see. And then you just go deeper and deeper in until
or like, each loop you could have different people visiting the park, and then that would change the events of that day.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Because sometimes you might be killed, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yep, you get killed, or
other times it's like
they reset you,
a human
or whatever
has requested you to go on a quest and show them the top of the mountain, and you're like, all right, cool, but while I'm there, I might be able to check under that rock because I think there might be a door because I found some. That would be really cool, Dave. Actually, that'd be a really cool.
I like that. Yeah,
it's just the setting. That's all you need, and you got to tell your own story within that.
It's like, I don't know. Was Eric you said in the beginning of the episode, or Dave? It's just understand the source material. Really have input from like the OG creative team, and just kind of like, what was it that made this so magical and people liked this franchise for some reason, and then what can we do to adapt it to the big screen? Like, what would make sense?
I got two quick finals. Games that need to be movies because they have great settings. The first Half-Life at the Black Mesa facility.
Oh, okay.
I was very close to putting that on my list.
That would be super awesome. That would have to be live action, but you could do all sorts of crazy shit between that one, because that one's got a good story to it, and you could have it
You could go so many different angles.
Self-contained story. Yeah, and you don't need to have a full series about it. You just have it be that one story.
It could just follow one of the scientists that worked there. You know, it doesn't even have to be like Gordon Freeman or anything. Just that being in that facility.
Oh, everybody wants to see Gordon. Michael Fassbender.
He'd be in there, but maybe not the main character.
Ooh. Or I was going to say the dude, was it Bryan Cranston or whatever from Breaking Bad?
He already looks like him.
I think he would make a really cool older version of Gordon. Yeah, but anyways.
Last one was an alien horror movie, but Dead Space needs to be put on the screen.
I mean, yeah.
As a live action movie.
I think it has an anime. It might have an anime that's supposed to be pretty good.
I think it also has like comics and stuff like that. It has a bunch of stuff. Yep.
And it is getting rebooted, I think. I could see that one getting pulled though as an IP, but
that'd be interesting.
Some of the ones I saw people suggest on the internet, I just thought end up being shitty movies. Like people suggested Red Dead.
Why?
And I'm
it's already there.
It's just a fucking it's like a cowboy heist movie. Like it's pretty lame.
It's also it's taken so much source material from westerns already. It'd be kind of like recycling it back into
that's very true.
It came from old
That's
westerns.
That's what's tough about it. It's about the gameplay. Yeah, it really. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's cinematic already, but like you're playing those games because it's like, do you want to be a cowboy?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're playing Tombstone,
and it's just like be a cowboy. Kind of you want to rob a bank, rob a bank. If you want to like go fucking like capture some fucking animals, go capture animals. If you want to go to the saloon, it's like it's a cowboy simulator with a dynamite production team and story and all that stuff. But that's something that I don't think
doesn't need it.
It's like you said, it's just a western.
It made me think that just because you're a good game doesn't mean that you would be a good movie.
Absolutely.
We'll see. What about you, Eric? Do you got any final things you want to talk about before we wrap this up?
Just in general, video game movies, the way video games are portrayed in movies needs to improve, because it just seems like nobody in Hollywood understands video games. To me, anyways, it's just crazy. Gamers deserve better, okay? And we want to see our favorite characters adapted to the big screen in a faithful way, which, I don't know, we haven't really seen that much yet. So I'm hoping that we get some more good video game movies in the future. That's all I hope for.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, this is a long episode, I'm noticing. I think there's so much we could talk about. I think we had a lot of fun with that one. All right, let's wrap it up, and then let's get into movie 20 questions. And I think, Eric, you're going to host this one, right?
I am indeed.
All right, let's take a break, and then we'll get into playing that game. And we're back. And I feel like I got to come up with something a little more catchier than like, all right, we'll be right back. And we're back. I feel like I don't know, like a TV commercial just ended. It's very weird. All right, I got to stop worrying about what I say and I just
go with the flow.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever. We're back. And we're back with a game. We're going to do another round of movie 20 questions. But I'm not going to host. Eric is going to host.
I will be hosting.
And the only hint we have is that Dave and I have seen it.
Yep. I know you both have seen this movie.
All right. That helps in some way. Dave, how do you feel? Do you know anything about 20 questions? Like how the game works?
I do. I've heard it played before.
You guys are working together. Not competing.
Yeah, we're working.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we just can't like 4 questions and be like, is it Braveheart? Because then it's over. Like you gotta be confident.
Once we guess, it's done.
Yep. Use your last question to guess.
So like
movie.
question 20 is okay to just be your last reserved question is guessing the actual thing.
Exactly.
So, okay.
So yeah, I'm ready to start whenever you guys are.
All right. Do we go by? You want to go by date to start to whittle this down? Or,
you asked the first question. Go whatever.
Let's have fun with it. Did this movie come out after the year 2000?
Yes.
Ooh, did it come up after the year 2010?
No.
Okay, so 2000, early 2000s movie. And we've both seen
I gotta
it,
keep track of these questions. How many questions you ask?
That's 2. Yep. I know it's hard. Is this part of a franchise?
No.
Not part of a franchise. Uh-oh. Is this movie based off of a book?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Would I watch this on Disney Plus? Like, cause like, is it like under Disney's ownership?
It's a good question. No.
Okay. I know, cause like it's hard to know what's on Amazon and Netflix and stuff like that. But like, you know what Disney owns, so that's why I asked them specifically.
Yep.
Okay, so it's not a Disney exclusive. So Dave, that's just ruled off fucking Star Wars, Marvel, Nat Geo. No.
It's not part of a franchise though, which is it's kind of a tricky. So you're looking
did this movie do well?
One off.
Is this like a successful movie? Like, did it do well?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so.
All right, see Dave, because that's interesting, right? Because it doesn't have a sequel or franchise.
So that's 6. All right.
We know what time it is, but we don't know a genre. I don't know. What do you think? You want to go? It's not rom-com. I mean, we don't watch those, and he knows that we've seen it, and you and I would definitely see like action or sci-fi.
I'm gonna say, do we go action or fantasy?
Is this movie funny? Like Guardians of the Galaxy is an action movie, but like it's funny. So would you say that this movie is funny? Because like Logan,
a tough question.
Because Logan is a superhero movie and it is not funny.
No,
there are some comedic moments in it, I'll say.
Okay,
but it's not a comedy overtly.
Interesting, because like Dave, I could read that as like the Joker. Oh no. Well, anyways, but like the Joker is like a serious movie, but there are some fucking funny scenes in that movie, like when the Joker can't figure out doors.
Not a franchise part has me thrown off. So technically, it could be "Dude, Where's My Car?"
Could be.
Do you want to? Yeah.
Is that your guess?
No, that's not going to be my guess today. Oh, not based on the book, not Disney, not a franchise.
This is where Dave's note taking.
Is this a sci-fi movie?
No. Nope.
When you say sci-fi, what does that kind of like entail? Like time travel, lightsabers, lasers, space
science
travel,
fiction.
Yeah.
Made up science stuff.
Does that cover zombies? Is that science fiction? Zombies?
Nah, I would say that's like horror.
I wouldn't think so.
What's fantasy? Magic?
Lord of the Rings, yeah, just.
And then zombies and vampires are, even though they're fantastical, they're more horror. Okay, so real quick, genre-wise, is this genre action focused with comedic scenes or elements to add it to it?
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay. All right. Not a franchise, Dave.
That's a pickle right there. So something that did decent.
Oh shit. But should we ask if it's like based off of a video game? Is it like based off the theme of the episode?
Oh yes, that's a good question.
I can see Eric doing that.
Well, that's meta.
Eric gets meta. I don't know.
Is it based off a video game? That's my question.
No.
Oh,
no,
sorry to burn a question. Damn, sorry, Dave.
That's 10.
All right, that seems like that would something that Eric would do.
All right,
keep
it
in line with what we got.
You know this year span. You know the genre roughly. You know the that it's not a Disney movie or owned by Disney.
Right.
You know that it's a one-off, not part of a franchise.
Yep. I think I asked if it was well received, right? Or it did well as a movie or something like that?
Yep, it did well. Yep.
Okay.
Start thinking about setting, stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. There's a hint. Oh, okay. Is this a timepiece? Like, does it take place in a specific time where, like, I don't know, like, some movies take place in the 1800s? You know, is this movie like, I don't know, no, like the setting? Is it known for it the time that the setting was taking place? So, like, does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So, okay, cool. Because Royal Abbey or something that's a TV show as a timepiece, like, people just know it's like early 1900s or whatever it is.
Definitely yes to that one.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Dave.
Oh, that's tricky.
He's saying that this movie takes place in a certain time. Is this a medieval movie?
No.
Like, no. Okay. Shit. All right, Dave. I gotta stop asking questions. What are we at? Like 12?
12. Yep.
Yeah. All right, Dave.
Not medieval, time period based, not on a video game. It's action focused, but not a franchise.
Has some comedic elements in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not based on a book.
Like, do we go after director?
I don't know if that'll help me at all.
I know there's so many good directors that, like, you know, Scorsese, Spielberg, Tarantino. Tarantino. He knows that we've seen all their his movies.
Time period based. I mean, that does line up with not a franchise. When did Once Upon a Time come out?
2018, 19. Oh, like, but it's based on, like, what, the 50s or 60s, early 60s.
Yeah, so it is a time period movie.
So is
not based on a book, not a franchise.
Django. So is Inglourious Basterds, and so is.
Those are all too new, though.
Oh,
those are all after 2010. It's 2000 to 2010 is our.
What did he make in that era? Or that
is our range. That's what I was asking about. Once Upon a Time. I don't know quite what was in there. Pulp Fiction was end of the 90s.
Yeah,
Jackie Brown was after that, and then
okay, might not be him.
I don't know what he did after that.
Yeah.
Are we at 12?
12. Yep.
So it's a good movie, one-off that took place in a specific time. Had some funny scenes in it. And it's no sci-fi.
Yep.
So it's pretty grounded, I bet.
Nope.
Action focused though.
That's right. That's right.
Action-y, yep.
Fuck. Action focused is a key. So I'm trying to think of like.
Oh man, I forgot about that fact. Shit. That makes me think. I've been thinking
time period based
drama.
And action focused.
Yeah. Is the main protagonist a man?
Yeah.
The time period and action focus just throws me off though. And not being a franchise. I need a.
Yeah, man, I know. I just wanted to like take a shot in the dark and just like guess like is Tom Cruise in this or Brad Pitt or who's somebody that's always in a movie or somebody that like DiCaprio.
Those two are well Troy came out back then or 300.
Oh shit, that's right. You got Gladiator.
300.
Gladiator came in 2000.
Could be right in there.
What's that director's name? That's Orson. God, not Orson Welles. God, he did Alien.
Not direct 300.
Who did Alien? Ridley Scott.
James Cameron.
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
Eric, is this movie made by Ridley Scott, James Cameron, or Steven Spielberg?
No.
Okay. All right. That took out a lot of good movies.
Is this based off of true events?
Oh, based off of true events. Yes.
Oh my God. Ooh, that's good. That's a good question. That's a really good question.
Yeah, I'll stick with my answer. Yeah.
Well, it's a movie. I understand that they take liberties to either add something, but like there's no fantasy to this, so like it could be like Zodiac Killer, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think Eric's cutting that deep on us.
No. That last one's tricky. I don't know how to say this without giving it away.
Can you just not answer that question? We'll take that information and let us ask another question in place of that.
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay. Are you cool with that, Dave? Or do you want him to give
sure.
you a better answer?
Well, I don't want to say it's based on true events, but the setting, I'll give you this, the setting that it's in is based on true events, but the story itself is not based on true events, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see that. Like World War II, the event happened, but like if it's Saving Private Ryan, which is a 90s flick.
That kind of thing.
But these guys didn't really exist, but like Hitler did and World War II did and all that shit. So is it like that?
That kind of thing, yeah.
Okay.
You said it was not Spielberg.
15.
Who was it?
It's 15.
Spielberg.
It was, I put Ridley Scott, Cameron, and Spielberg together, and he said no to all their movies. Is Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio in this movie?
Keanu
Reeves, no. Yeah. Timepiece with Keanu?
Encino Man.
Last Samurai with Tom Cruise.
Not a franchise, so it's not a Die Hard. Die Hard was based on true events. The Legend of Don McLean.
Is there a love interest in this movie for the main protagonist to deal with?
If there is, I don't remember that part of it. There might have been, but I can't 100% say for sure.
All right, but that sounds like there's a female character in there, Dave. He just didn't notice any romance between him and the female character. So, timepiece.
So we got 16. You got 3 questions and a guess.
Yeah, shit, Dave. Oh no.
Here,
No, we don't need any hints.
Are you sure? Okay, I won't say anything.
I was going to take a hint.
You can wait a couple questions. That's fine.
A couple?
You got 3.
Oh, man. Okay. So, it's hard to guess the director because there's a lot of directors out there. Do we bother with actors?
I was going to say...
Or...
if we've mentioned it today.
Well, that's a good one. Have
we talked about this movie today?
Yes.
Oh my god, we've talked about anything and everything.
I was gonna say we've mentioned a lot of movies on this episode.
Oh shit, County.
I mean, but we've talked about it today, so that does whittle it down. Like it could be Dread.
No, that movie came out in the 2000 teens.
Did it?
Yeah.
Did well. Not a franchise.
You have said the name of this movie in this episode.
Well, son of a bitch.
Damn, dude. I gotta look.
But it's not video game based. That's the thing.
It's not video. It's not a movie
based.
based on a video game, but it could be.
But it's action oriented, and we've talked about it today.
It could be a movie that a video game was made based off of. That came on the 2000s.
It could be any movie that you've said the name of while we have been recording.
Oh, man.
But it's also based on true events. Ish.
Mm-hmm.
2 questions left.
Yep, 2 questions and a guess.
We did talk about a lot of movies today.
Oh, man. I'm like, what have I been talking about?
Just talk it out in your brain. Because we did talk about stuff in the beginning, and then we got into why movies suck. Games based on games, movies based on games.
We went over numbers, but they're all based on video games, so none of those are relevant. And then we did compare how like some movies are really good, and we talked about like why do they work.
But most of them are going to be franchises.
2000s movie action.
Yep, between 2000 and 2010.
Is this movie known to have a good sound to it, like music or sound effects? Like, you know how we were talking about that with like...
Oh, no, I don't know if that's a real question.
Well,
Where's that going to help us?
What are you talking about? No, you don't think that's a good question?
It was. I mean, it was well received, but is the sound gonna?
I mean, you got two questions left and a guess. You want to use that one on one of those?
I don't know. All right, Dave. What's your question?
Do you?
I mean, we could ask if it's animated.
Ooh, that is better than mine. I don't think it is. Honestly, I have not thought about anime this whole time because it's a good movie and Disney didn't make it, or it's not on Disney Plus. So it's just like, who's making? I mean, in the 2000s, who's making good animated shit? Seriously. If it's fucking Shrek, I'll be like, bullshit. And that's his franchise, so it doesn't matter.
Shrek is based on true events. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's a lot of reasons.
Yeah, it has to, I mean, if it's a time period based too, it's got to be live action. Main protagonist is a guy.
You could go down the actor's route if you wanted to. That's a shot in the dark.
It is a shot in the dark.
It's better than nothing.
I know. 2000s, I keep thinking of like, God, there's like, and the main protagonist is a man. I mean, dude, who could that be? There's so many people.
Think about all the movies that you've mentioned today.
Oh, this makes my head hurt. Eric's just fucking laughing at us over there.
Do you have any movies in your heads right now?
No,
that it could
they're
be?
all franchises from the 80s. That's stuck in my head.
Most of everything I think of is a franchise.
Do you want me to give you a hint? Is that a yes? Or
I feel like I'm cheating, but
it's a vague hint.
All right, if it's vague,
I'll take a vague one.
You were going down the right path earlier when you were talking it out.
Okay, Dave, it's definitely Tarantino. No? What did he make in the 2000s?
So, not based on a book, did well, not sci-fi. Based on true events. Like, I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood has to fall in there.
Released
between I don't know when
2000 and 2010.
Okay, hold on a second. I gotta ask the question. Is this a Tarantino movie?
Yes.
Okay, so Dave.
One question and one guess.
Okay, so Dave. When did Inglourious Basterds come out?
That has to be like after 2010.
I don't know. I feel like it was like 2008.
Really?
My gut says 2006, 2008.
It seems like
2008.
That's like 15 years ago. It did not come out that long ago.
Oh man, when he says 2010, 2000 to 2000 to 2010, right?
2000.
Yeah, 2000. Does it? Inglourious Basterds might have come out 2010, dude. So that's 11 years ago, and that may be the case.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
one question, one guess to narrow it down.
What's the difference between them? Ask if
is Brad Pitt in it, or
if Leonardo DiCaprio's in it, basically. Because he's not in Inglourious Basterds. Because that's the only other movie that I think Tarantino would have made in that. Because it's not going to be Jackie Brown.
No, I know, right? Yeah. All right. Yeah. Is DiCaprio in this?
No.
Okay, so Dave, it's either between Jackie Brown or Inglourious Basterds.
I mean, we can give Inglourious Basterds a whirl, I guess. Sure.
All right.
I mean, I don't know what else it would be. Tarantino.
All right, you asked. You asked the question.
It's not Reservoir Dogs.
This is our final question.
This is our guess, right?
This is the guess. Yep.
It is not a guess. We know. What do we know, Dave?
Is it Inglourious Basterds?
Ding, 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 ding. That is correct.
Yes. Oh man. All right. Well, thank you for
that.
Hint.
In 2009.
2009.
Oh, no
okay.
shit.
Yep. I was getting nervous because you were right on it. You said Inglourious Basterds, and then you're like, "No, it came out after 2010." I'm like, "No."
When did we talk about that earlier?
You mentioned Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah,
when
dude. We were talking about Tarantino because you were talking about.
Oh, I meant this episode.
During this
entire episode. Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking about before.
Oh yeah, because
that's why I was saying.
Yeah,
that's why I was saying you mentioned the name of this movie sometime while we were recording.
Yeah,
you You said Inglourious Basterds.
2009. No shit.
Yep. You got there.
Wow, I feel so much smarter now.
Oh man, sweet. All right.
that was
Congrats,
tough. But,
congrats.
Wow.
Yeah, it is
20 on the dot.
It is tough, but hey, I mean, like you guys got it last. You guys, now we got it again. So hey, it's a good,
You guys got it last week too, though.
Yeah,
yeah. We had some hints, but it was we got there eventually.
I got it. Yep.
It confused me because you said James Bond. It wasn't an action movie.
Dave,
Casino Royale was not an action movie.
So it was Casino Royale, and there was a question like, is this an action movie? And I said, it is not an action movie, but it has action in it. Really good action. That was the hint I gave. And that really threw off Eric. But it's just like, it's like a 2.5 hour or something like long movie. And the half of the movie is just like tough. It's just like a poker game. So I think that even though it has awesome parkour in the beginning, I was like, I don't know if that's an action movie. So I don't know. Maybe I fucked up. But
what is it categorized as? Is the question. But I don't know. I'm just glad we got that. I don't feel so dumb.
I mean, it has different genres: spy, action, adventure, thriller, crime fiction. So
you're gonna hit some. You're gonna check some things off during a 2.5 hour long movie.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Sure.
Well, congrats, guys. You got it. You won.
All right. Yeah. Well, let's set up the outro.
Let's end this thing.
Yeah, please. Yeah. These poor people have been listening.
Yeah. Thanks for
this poor person.
Thanks for hosting the game, Eric. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Hopefully, Dave, maybe you can do it next time you host, and we get the movie 3 times in a row. But yeah, it was a lot of fun talking about movies that are based off of video games and how they suck. We threw in some ideas for both video games being movies and movies being based off of video games. So it would be awesome if that stuff happened. But otherwise, we got a lot of homework to do for this show. We're talking about doing some Resident Evil 7. We're getting ready for Halloween. There's a lot of horror movies and sci-fi movies we want to talk about. So just hold on to your butts. There's a lot to talk about. Anything else you guys want to say?
I'm good.
I'll just replug our social we did at the beginning of the episode. Sure. At Nomads of Fantasy, Twitter and Instagram. nomadsoffantasy@gmail.com for emails, and twitch.tv/nomadsoffantasy if you want to watch us play some games. That's it.
Cool. All right. Other than that, we're out of here.
See ya.
See ya.